Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of Plant-Based
Bros. Oh
I
yeah.
am your boy, Meeks in the cut.
I'm here. I'm Ant. You know the vibes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is great to be back amongst the vibes, like Ant said right here. The Plant-Based Bros, amongst many things, amongst being the Plant-Based Bros, amongst being bros, amongst being good-looking men, amongst having incredibly luxurious flow.
Oh,
We are survivors of a hurricane.
we are indeed. Yeah.
Hurricane Ian, it happened. Remember being in this very room, in the pod room.
Yeah.
We'll before we even get into everything we're going to talk about, let's get this out the way, okay? Don't really want to talk about it too much because I don't want to dump my trauma on you, okay? You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Long story short, hurricane happened. Crazy things.
Yeah.
Tree branch fell in my car here at the Mama Duke's crib.
Yeah.
Some plywood fell, fell. They flew off of basically the windows in this exact room that we are. We were looking at the hurricane. It was crazy. There was no power. Power came back on. People had it way worse. We were very fortunate, and that's all I really got to say about it. Before you go into what you got to say about the hurricane, real quick, if you got a bev on you,
Hey.
a little beverage, go ahead and crack a beverage. Take a little sip. We're gonna go ahead and take a swig with you. Right now, my drink of choice is a Celsius. Need a little bit of caffeine to get me going here for this pod.
Celsius sponsors. Hey.
I buy so much that I could, my bank account would favor from a Celsius sponsorship, but that is neither here nor there right now. But yeah, we spent a good amount of time together during that whole storm. How'd you feel about it, brother?
Yeah. No, it was crazy, man. I mean, you gotta adapt.
For sure.
As much as you could really think you could handle a natural disaster. It's like
Right.
everyone was in the same boat. It's like everything was just crazy. Just so much winds and just
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who just lost everything. I know you knew a couple of people who lost everything.
100%.
That's just crazy to put it into perspective.
It really is.
I'm very thankful that we were okay. There was no power here for a couple of weeks, no Wi-Fi, but it's that's all minimal. You just gotta be safety is first. But it was kind of cool. I think it was nice to see kind of the connection of people around helping other people,
Yes.
and it's still happening now. So that's good. To
well
just see
said.
that humanity effect just kind of kicking in.
Well
people
said.
looking out for each other.
Well said.
It's sick. Nice.
Yeah, that is very well said. It really is all about perspective, right? The saying, change your mentality and change your reality. I think that definitely applies to any time we really have to persevere, whether that be in our own lives as a society, right? Like the community coming together and stuff, and a lot of debris around, a lot of things to pick up. And like Ant said, a lot of people were willing to lend that extra helping hand. And it was really nice to see people kind of go back to things that you kind of grew up seeing what society was like, right? Kind of all those things, 100%. So it was good to see people get back to their roots and things like that. Our hearts and our condolences go out to everyone who was affected by the storm, whether that was by a little bit of shingles or in a major way. So hearts go out to you. The PBBs, the Plant-Based Bros are here for you. We're there for you. If you want to shoot us a little message, talk to us. Shoot us a little message on the IG. That's linked to all of our pages and stuff like that. We'd love to hear your story and talk to you. And if you need somebody to talk to, like I said, we're there for you.
Well said. Yeah, absolutely.
100%. But in general, for the entire episode, really, a lot has happened between episode 3 and episode 4.
Yeah.
Some great sports actions happened that we definitely want to talk about. Definitely want to talk about some UFC that went down. Definitely want to talk about some footy, some Real Madrid, some Man U. But before we get into all that, I kind of want you to segue into this right here for us, my brother. We're starting to take creatine again. It's that time of year. It's the winter.
Again for you.
Well, yeah, it's my second time around. This is your first time around, and I can talk about my experience with it, but I kind of want to get your perspective because you were kind of pushing for it. I was kind of expecting to take it this time of year, but you were very excited to do it. So I kind of want to hear your excitement about it and kind of you letting the people know about where we're kind of standing and how we've been getting along with that.
Yeah. No, I think to first start off with the disclaimer, it's this is just kind of the advice that I have.
Big disclaimer. Yes,
thank you. That I've kind of learned, insight that I've kind of gathered from different sources. I always
spoke for that. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but that was just so brilliant. Yeah.
No, I think you should always, whatever you hear on the internet and anything you hear from other people, like always kind of do your own research. Just add on to it. Why not? Just add that extra little cushion of kind of seeing what other people have said, what research is out there. But I had a coworker that was just. I told her that my brother and I would both follow the vegan diet, and she asked me right away if we take creatine. And I was like, oh no, he's taken it before, but she really just kind of took it down into it. She was just saying how important it is, because that's actually creatine's found in a lot of animals and stuff like that. So since we don't have that in our diet, she was saying it's important.
You gotta get it.
Yeah, it's important to incorporate that, to just, because what creatine does is it brings water into the muscle bellies, so that kind of that helps with the muscle drive. Basically, even just your performance.
Okay.
A little bit more capacity to increase oxygen. It's a supplement that's not like banned or anything like that.
Okay, what's a muscle belly?
Muscle belly?
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just like, let me kind of dig deep into where, because there's been so many different anatomies that I've taken, like classes wise. But like the muscle belly is basically just
put us on actually.
What is able to hold the resistance. Basically what is getting the most shock when you're applying that resistance and you're trying to control the weight, going both concentrically and eccentrically, which is when you're going down with the weight, when you're going.
So the muscle belly is basically like where you see your gains, essentially.
Right. Well, yeah. It's what's basically what allow you to go through contractions, and when you bring water into that, it's gonna allow you to typically increase your performance.
Got you. So that's why, like, if okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. So that's why, like, if I'm looking at the back of like a little creatine thing, it says like increased performance and stuff like that, because it's allowing this water to these muscle bellies, like you're saying, so that you can have a little bit more of a pump, a little bit more of a lift there with some extra strength. Okay, interesting. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's very interesting. Very interesting.
Cool. Yeah, and like I said, just go do some research on it. It's a really cool thing.
100%.
See if you want to incorporate it into your diet. See if you gotta. Either talk to a physician about it, anything like that. It's because it is interesting. Some people are like, but just like a lot of things, like some people are allergic, right? Some people are allergic, can't take it. Some, this comes down to the same thing with like food, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that is very well said. Very well said. So we've always said in these first 3 episodes that we've had here on the channel about really just our workout regimens, how much we like routine, how much we really enjoy getting after it in the gym. Really seeing those gains, being disciplined. And kind of like we say, maintaining that discipline to see those gains over time, because it's not like an overnight process. It's going to take some time. But one of those things, honestly, is if you're working really, really hard, right, you got to work smarter, not harder. And I think creatine is one of those things that allows you to see gains a little bit quicker than you usually would, because of how much it's like allowing you to lift, and because of that little bit extra water that you are getting to, like you said, those muscle belly. I was about to call it muscle bodies, but I'm
it's actually
the muscle belly.
I was actually just doing an assignment for like a sports performance class that has like just nutritional supplies, and like each chapter breaks down. One chapter is like fats, one's proteins, the other one is carbs, stuff like that, right? And just like how you could kind of take it during certain hours when you like for certain exercises, because like obviously like if you're doing endurance, like you're burning a lot more carbs.
Right.
And carbs is the main source of energy that gets used,
of course,
in our body, right? But yeah, dude, it's sick. Well, I kind of like lost track of where I was going.
No, you're good, brother. We were just talking about the benefits of creatine.
Oh yes, I was just gonna say that.
What had happened was, that's where you had started. Oh my fault. I didn't even bonk you. It was just like a bing bong on you.
No, I was just gonna.
That was so funny. You just bonked me. Sorry. I settled down. Yeah, no, I just hit it with a little light tap. Like, you got that, champ.
Yeah. For the viewers that haven't seen it on YouTube, for the bonk, catch it on YouTube. Just got bonked.
I'm so confused.
I'm saying like for the moment, like right now.
Yeah, for the people that are just listening. Sorry, people that are just listening.
Just
I love
to
you.
wrap that up.
Yeah, sorry to wrap up that sidebar. That was kind of fun though.
I was saying, I was just gonna say that creatine is a nutritional, ergogenic aid.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Before we move on, define ergogenic real quick for me. What? What's ergogenic mean?
Ergogenic aid is anything that just allows like a human to, or just like athlete in a sense, as well, to increase their performance.
Hey,
so it's just there's 5 different type of ergogenic aids.
There's 5 different types.
Yeah.
Let's do an episode on the 5 different types one day. I don't want to get too deep on a deep dive on creatine. But let me ask you this. How have you been consuming your creatine? I know it says you can dissolve it in a little bit of water and a little bit of juice. Right. I know some people take it in their pre-workout. I know some people take it in their post-workout protein. There we go. I was trying to say too many words at once. Right, but we slow it down nice and easy. So how do you like to consume your creatine, brother?
Me personally, I like to put it into the shake that I make. So I make like a little green juice.
Hey, what are we throwing in there?
I'll make a quick short. One time, just how I make the green juice.
I won't even ask you the ingredients then, so you can save it for the short. Bada bing, bada boom.
Absolutely. Bingo.
Nice. Hey. Me myself, same thing as Ant. I've been doing it. Luckily, the wifey's been hooking it up with like a super, super delicious green juice. Nice. Just sneaks the creatine in there for me. Sneaks in that protein for me too. Has this nice little banana taste to it, and I love it. See, I'm one of those picky eaters when it comes to consistencies. I can't really get down with smashing a banana. Just not my thing. They're a little too mushy. But I enjoy banana flavored things. So I smash that little banana flavored green juice, and I love it. Feels good. Feels great. And another kind of little segue, or not really segue, but another chapter really to what I like to call this next phase of our exercise regimen is the Creatine Chronicles. Hey. This next little part is running. Okay. Nice. Now, I've coached cross country for a couple years, and those kids can run. I just see them. I go, all right, look, practice. We're going to run 6 to 8 miles. They just do it. So I'm like, all right, if these kids can just run that much, pretty sure if I apply myself to just running and believing in myself and having that mentality that I can get it done, I'm going to see good results. Because I asked Ant, realistically, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys on the pod. I'm going to get a little vulnerable. I said, look, Burke, I want some abs. I know I got them, but I just want to see them showing a little bit more. I kind of want to have them that little ka-chow look to them, okay? Nice. Be honest. He said, listen, man, you got to work your core a little bit more, do a little bit more workouts on your core. And I said, all right, I got you on that, brother. He also said, listen, up that cardio, start running. And I said, you know what? Say less, brother. So, I'm trying to hold myself accountable to at least 8 to 10 miles a week. First week, I got 8 miles in. That second week, I kind of dipped off a little bit, got 4. But now for this week, 8 miles again. And let you guys know, we hit a nice little young 4-mile run, this man and I, yesterday. It was awesome. Felt great. Yeah. Good vibes, good music, good mental clarity. And I'm finding that running is fun. And that it also provides me with a really good mental release in terms of my my mental health, and it's really nice. What did you think about that run we took yesterday?
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that, like a little mental release, / even like a mental connect in a way.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, I haven't ran that much. I don't even know in how long. So it's like, I remember I used to run a bunch for high school soccer and stuff like that.
100%.
You know, just kind of got used to the conditioning for it, but the thing is, it was just like, I kind of wasn't really worried about the distance. I was just kind of worried on breathing the whole time. Right. And like, I was kind of mentioning to you after the workout that like, it was one of those workouts where I really felt like I could actually, during it, like without stopping, just like slow down my breath.
Yes.
Just through taking some deep breaths. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's crucial. Like I say it all the time to clients when we're doing the exercises, just like to take a deep breath real quick, slow down the heart rate. You know, that's a really good, you know, just kind of cue or mental note to give yourself, to remind yourself when you're doing your workout that it's just crucial.
100%. I mean,
because you even tell me, I remember in like our earlier days of working out, I would forget to breathe in. He would look at me and he's like making eye contact. He's like, are you breathing? He's like, yeah.
No. He's saying it too humble. I legit specifically remember seeing Ant, and he, don't get me wrong, Ant gets after it. So I know he's out here getting after it. And I look at him, he's getting after it. He's struggling. And I just look at him and I could tell he's not breathing. I said, breathe. And then he was like, and he got it out there, and he was all good. But yeah, that's such a good point, man.
Yeah, that was before I really started learning about
yes,
breathing for sure, exercise and movement.
Yeah,
different classes.
100%. I'm glad that it's like something that you learn along the way. I learned it through word of mouth, of course, but it's sick that they teach you that in the class because it really is underrated.
Yes.
Like breathing, like how important breathing is while you're exercising, finding your breath, finding like your heart rate, understanding where you're at, knowing like, okay, I'm going over a certain spot, I'm exerting this much energy, and this is where I'm at. It's really important to be in tune with that. And I like how you mentioned when you're running how in tune you feel, because like that's so true. I literally feel like these, like, of course, dude, pain in the legs because you're going after it. No matter how much you stretch, you're still gonna feel a little bit of pain. It's normal. But it's like you said, having that mind over matter and just getting after it and persevering, just arming the mind to just get over it. Because at some point, you're going out, but at some point, hey, you're gonna come back and you're gonna feel so accomplished afterwards. But even during that run, man, I just love getting some good tunes, screaming out to some music, even though it makes me feel more out of breath. I'll catch my breath in a second because it was worse. It's worse. It's worth just singing those tunes out and just feeling that energy and feeling that vibe while you're running, and it's so much fun, man. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. It's just I'm honestly just such a big advocate for music.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like I was also kind of just like a little tiny segue of just like how I think we've mentioned it in past episodes, just kind of tapping into those childhood passions of yours.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like music has always been such a passion for both of us.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you were the one that put me on to so much music as we were growing up. So it's like, I don't know, when you can just kind of tap right back into like that drive of just, I don't know, music, man. Like I think it's so cool because I kind of just recently kind of reconnected with just like finding new music again.
Yeah,
because like sometimes you kind of, I feel
you
like
went through a phase, dude, where it was like I couldn't keep up. Like every time I got in the car with Ant, I didn't know what song was playing. Ant hit a phase like that where he was just getting so much. So yeah, that's actually really interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, you're good. In there. Just like new music you could find. But like I was just gonna say, I feel like people could relate. Like sometimes we hit like a block of
oh my
not
goodness,
finding any music and like we're listening to the
so
songs, but like we just don't want to.
You don't mind it. You're just
we don't mind it.
You're bobbing to like the same vibe.
You kind of just like stop and you're like, all right, maybe I don't even want to listen to music anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely like a passion that I've always loved, and just like I think just finding a bunch of music, having an open mind for it as well.
Yeah, open mind for music. It opens up your palette, opens up your taste to different artists and to different genres, and that's the beauty of music, is that there's so much of it, dude. So much. You can like one artist, and then it's like you said, like these different like music apps, they are like, oh, here's a recommended artist similar to this one, and you'll like this one, and it's like they make these like curated playlists for you, and it's like, man, this is great.
That's true.
Yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, segueing outside of the Creatine Chronicles and all that stuff, quite a month of sports we had, man. We were really looking forward to that UFC 280 card.
Yeah.
Sugar Sean got the job done. Don't care if it was controversial or not. Look up any pictures of Peter Yan after a fight and look at him after Sugar Shane. And just know our boy got the job done. That's all I want to say about that. Your thoughts?
I agree wholeheartedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. We're big UFC guys, honestly. We haven't really talked about it in these first couple episodes on the pod, but you kind of can expect us to talk more about the UFC on the pod as we go forward and get these episodes just like one by one out after another, because we're ready to actually get disciplined with this and just have more and more episodes, because we know that to build an actual viewership and an audience, that we have to be a little bit more consistent, and we're ready for it after the storm, and it kind of awoke this inner beast that we already had in us, and we're ready to get after it. But honestly,
well said.
Thank you, brother. Big UFC guys. That UFC 280 card was so sick, man. The Sugar Shane fight was amazing. It was crazy because we're such big fans. We've been seeing him fight since he was unranked, going from the unranked guy to like 14 or 13. He drops down, he fights, I think, Raul Paiva. He gets the job done there, has the whole no contest with Pedro Munoz, and then shocks the world against Peter Yan. And it's just like, man, when you follow a guy's career and you see him like fight against one of the best in the world, it's so unreal, man. That was so much fun watching it, and it's been so cool getting really attached to certain fighters and stuff, and like watching the different embeddeds and stuff like that. And UFC is like a sport like no other, because a little bit about my background is like I did martial arts growing up. I got a junior like black belt like at the age of 7 or 8. So a lot of the techniques I did as a kid, I see it in the UFC. So it's like, man, like Ant says, with those childhood passions, I loved karate as a kid. I loved those martial arts. So watching UFC is just a huge thing that I absolutely love.
Sick. Yeah, that's so cool. Like, honestly, I always wish looking back to, like, I remember seeing very vaguely. It's kind of just like
right. You were young. Yeah, it's a full age.
Very young, but like I wish I kind of would have been a little bit more intrigued
for sure
to that route of like either kickboxing or just like that kind of route. But I don't know. I mean, everything just happens. I kind of had a different passion stem, mainly like for baseball and like soccer on the side. So. It is what it is.
Excuse me. I mean, dude, who's
to say we can't pick it up now?
Yeah, you beat me to the punch. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, literally, we're super fit now. We're in shape. We have a great diet. We keep a great training regimen. So, honestly, at some point, I can see us getting into a nice little gym, earning some stripes on a belt into jiu-jitsu. I know maybe 10 years from now, we get into being black belts in a gym. You never know. I think it'd be something sweet to grind forwards and something fun to do. But yeah, similar to how I was saying, we relate to certain fighters in the UFC and stuff like that. I mean, the Islam Charles fight was insane. That was such a good fight. TJ, I in retrospect, the whole thing with him fighting with a bad shoulder makes sense. You got to get a paycheck. So at the end of the day, get your money, do what you got to do. But
who had a bad shoulder?
TJ, remember how I kept popping out?
Yeah. I thought you were just saying Oliveira and Max.
No. I was out because remember the big 3 fights on that thing. I mean, shout out my boy Bilal Muhammad. I do like Bilal Muhammad, and he got the job done. Yeah. But. No, I was talking about how like we're like into certain fighters, and a certain fighter that you're super into is Izzy, and he fights soon.
Yes.
281, him, Alex Pereira.
Yeah, the next.
That's gonna be a super crazy fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Israel Adesanya.
Dude,
he's a beast. He's honestly crazy. One of the it was definitely Sugar, the first like UFC fighter that I like started to follow
from like a beginning, right?
But, like when I found Izzy, like his YouTube and like all of the content he creates, I was like, dang, I really like this
super
dude.
Fire.
So like just kind of I've been catching up with him, keeping up with him for each fight.
Yep.
It was tough seeing him lose to Jan when he went out.
Yeah, to Blachowicz, yeah.
Definitely that was a little throwback, but that was tough to see. But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's still undefeated. I mean, he's still undefeated in his weight class, so.
Exactly, yeah. No, he's a beast. And I just like how he's always preaching like just being himself and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a good message.
It's just cool that I just love like his dancing, like the taunting that he does.
Yeah, his style.
Like, his style, exactly, man. It's just he's cool.
Yeah.
He's confident with himself and like.
Hell of a
fighter. All about, man.
Yeah, great fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, that's gonna be a great fight card. There's a couple other good fights on there. Can't forget that girl Molly Meatball. Molly Meatball fights on that card, so that's gonna be fire. And then I think Patty the Batty fights on 282, if I'm not mistaken, against some dude. Gotta give a shout out to the Scoozles, Patty the Body Lad. Yeah. Big shout to the Scoozles, lad.
Love these.
Yeah, dude. There's just so many characters in the UFC, and it's so great. And I can't lie, like we grew up big WWE fans, and like something about UFC gives me like a gladiator / WWE kind of vibe with like the personalities that are in and out of it. So it's like it's kind of fun. Yeah, you never really seen it like that. Oh, that's kind of one of the things.
Connecting the personality.
Oh, for sure. All right, yeah, cool. I'm glad I can bridge that gap for you. That's fine. Yeah, I mean that's just like how I see it, like as like a fun little thing. I know it's obviously so far removed because like WWE's rigged and it's all fake and it's like dudes and tights and all that ish. But yeah, dude, it's not. It's all super gas to each his own. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, as we've gotten older, now we understand the rigor that it takes to be a WWE superstar. So that's all really cool, being able to grow up and learn different things. But a little check on Real. Since the stormy warmy, nice little El Clasico dub. They dropped some points today, which wasn't ideal. But whenever you can beat Barcelona at home, it's just nice to see. It makes you just want to hit that little Ronaldo celebration. Just a nice cold. The move, might have to make that the thumbnail, honestly.
Hey.
But yeah, dude, Real are rocking. I'm kind of more interested to talk about Man U because it gets good to see CR7 kind of redeem himself in the Europa League after the whole like walking off shenanigans and all that stuff. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I mean, Ronnie would be Ronnie. Yeah. But like, I think he definitely understood like that he can't do that again type of deal. So like, I don't know, man. I think it's just such an interesting situation. Like, I don't want to see him go, but then, like, I also could definitely see him just book it in January. Right. Just because, like, you know, he might want to go play Champions League soccer, get into a team that has just, like, a whole different situation, challenge himself again. Like, you know, I don't know. I can definitely see that being the case.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, I don't know. I think Man U kind of have a good thing going for them. They're not doing too bad in the Premier League table. Europa League, like they're winning their games to get their points, and definitely they're going on through the next stage when that comes. Right. But like, I don't know, dude.
I mean they're trending in the right direction. Situation. They're trending in the right direction. Right. It seems.
Yes, definitely.
That's always a good thing. That's always a good thing. Trending in the right direction. It's going to be interesting to see because the World Cup is coming soon. That's going to be something that we can talk about on the pod. That'll be fun.
A month away.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what would be a fun episode to do? Like once the World Cup's coming up kind of close, is get a couple of buddy of ours that like to talk footy, and we can do a little prediction episode. We can do like a little we can like maybe like map it out and like we can like write out who our prediction is, give a couple of reasons to why we got like certain predictions and stuff. I would be remiss if we didn't mention the Bean League of Legends Fantasy Basketball League starting up. So we started that up. We got our little draft done the other day, which was super, super sweet. It's me and the boy Yahoo, the boy baby girl Jay. It was super awesome, a lot of fun. I was the champion first year of the league, and it's the champion second year of the league. Basically, all we do is a 4-man league of fantasy basketball on ESPN, so that each person has a stacked team. You keep up with it week by week. It's a good time, and we play for a vintage WWE spinning John Cena belt from like the 2007 era. So you already know it's the vibes. You take a picture with the belt every year, and that remains the championship picture. So that's always a good time, man. What are your thoughts about this year's fantasy basketball as the defending champ? I'll let you get the mic since you are the defending champ.
Hey, I mean, thank you for that introduction as the defending champ. It was, it had the hit and miss of, not everyone, included and just like playing the whole time. But
yeah,
it's cool, whatever.
Yeah, we won't name names.
It's all fun.
You know who you
it's are. All fun. It's all fun in games, man. He's still a homie. But yeah, man, it's always so cool. I think it's just like a cool little hobby that we've developed in the past couple of years. Like it helps. I don't know. I think it's just like a daily thing, or just it doesn't even have to be.
No, yeah, you can do it like weekly, honestly. But it's just, it makes watching basketball just that much more fun because like when you're Lakers fans like us right now and you're 0-5 and you're not allowed to tank for Wembanyama, but you're kind of are tanking for Wembanyama.
Yeah, like it's
who
like
knows what's going on?
Tanking or not?
Yeah, but all jokes aside, it makes watching the NBA a lot more fun. Makes it, and especially like when certain players get hot, you kind of get enticed. And when trades happen, you're like, ooh, I want to like trade for that guy. I remember what helped me win the league the first year was James Harden was still playing for Brooklyn. It was James Harden, Kyrie, and KD. And he had just gotten traded to the 76ers. And I think John was like, yo, I gotta get him. So I was like, dude, what do you want for him? And that's how I was able to get Giannis. So I had like Luka, Giannis, and Jokic on the same team. And that's what led me to victory. Dude, shout out my favorite NBA player, Luka Doncic.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a fun year. I was talking my Ish as the best GM in the league. And I definitely was for that year, but Ant did agree. I call Ant the waiver wire king, and I think that's how he went ahead and he won the league last year. So I give him his credit where credit is due. So it's going to be another fun year of fantasy basketball, honestly. I love fantasy basketball. Yeah, I love fantasy basketball.
Gosh.
I love fantasy basketball. Yeah, man, me too. Yeah, super vibes. Man, yeah, we've talked about just about everything. One last thing, honestly, and we can go ahead and end on this, honestly, and I don't really want to end something on a negative note, but we're just going to go ahead and, as somebody from up north, as a kid that grew up in Jersey, as a kid that's watched the Yankees for this long, all right, sick and tired of it, all right? Sick and tired of watching the Yankees. Sick and tired of watching the Yankees get to the ALCS against Houston and lose. I'm done with it, okay? I'm over it. I watch every game. Just sit there, watch it happen. And I'm like, you know what? This sucks. This is terrible. Could have done something else with my night.
Aaron Judge might be leaving.
Dude, I'm so glad you mentioned that. If he leaves, that's going to be like a breaking news episode. We're just going to be like,
wow. Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Why?
It was a disappointing freaking postseason, man.
Yeah, because the season was a baller.
And I understand, but there was a lot of pressure, and we're just fans, and we have our perspective.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm not one of those fans that's like gonna send a death threat or something. Like those fans are way too much, Like I get they're doing their job, they're trying their best. I can only do so much as a fan. I don't affect the outcome. I think I can by like being a little lucky or something like that, and I might not watch a game thinking of bad luck charm. But at the end of the day, dude. That's life, man. You win some, you lose some. So people that are super like OD about things like that, get over yourself.
Get your head not so stuck on the little things. Because
I thought you were going to say get your head out of your, I was going to laugh really hard, but I'm glad you said what you said.
Get your head out of your beep.
Out of your beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Oh, that's jokes.
Man, it's really good to be back here with you, man. Back in the PBB studio.
Yeah.
Out here, man. I'm glad nothing happens in the studio. I was getting a little worried, to be honest with you guys, like looking out like past the camera, right at this little window that's behind the camera where we record. Yeah. There was a tree branch just chilling for like the majority of the storm, and we were just looking at it.
Literally on top of our house.
It was just on top of the house. It seems like it low-key kind of helped us in a way, but those were some strong winds, buckaroo, and it was kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Crazy to see, like, especially what happened to Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what? They're calling it Gulf Shore Strong, and shout out being Gulf Shore Strong, dude. Everyone that was affected, man, that was tough. Yeah. Like we mentioned earlier, dude, our thoughts are out to you for sure, and that's just something really unfortunate, and our hearts, like we said, go out to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
couldn't have said it better myself.
For sure. Well, yeah, guys, honestly, it's great to be back here. Yeah. We're going to get it locked and loaded. We'll go ahead and check in with you guys next week on how the mileage is going, on how the creatine is going, how the weight is looking. We'll post maybe a couple body pics of like us before creatine and maybe like a couple weeks, maybe a month into the journey and stuff like that. Of course, I love how Ant said earlier, his disclaimer, this is just things that we are doing, things that we recommend. Of course, we're not over here telling you that, we're better than you by doing this diet or following these regimens. No, we're just saying, hey, this is stuff that's working for us. If you want to try something out that's going to, maybe change your lifestyle up a little bit, and maybe something that's going to challenge you in the arena of discipline, maybe follow along with these tips that we're providing you here on the Plant-Based Bros podcast. What do you think? Yeah,
absolutely. I think just to wrap up upon that, just literally sometimes you got to remember, it's just take it upon yourself. If you want to go on your journey, don't compare to the other people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you versus you.
Yep.
Remember that,
Well said. Yeah, it is you versus you.
Just keep going,
I also just noticed how you're holding the mic. Like, just now I looked over and I was like, wow, that's actually a really smart way to hold the mic. Kind of like to hold the mic vibe for this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, get sturdy on that elbow. We'll walk on the table. Sturdy.
Heck yeah, man. Creatine Chronicles, episode 4 of the Plant-Based Bros. Huge thank you to our sponsors at Very Good Vegan Bakery.
Yep.
It's been your boy Meeks, Plant-Based Bros, episode 4. We're out, ya.
We're out. Take care, y'all.